I want to explain something. The people that you see leaving, because nobody ever leaves. And when they do, I finish up quick, believe me. But I couldn't take pictures at the beginning. So I take them at the end sometimes. If I'm late, the plane gets late, you get delayed, lots of things happen. There's a little hurricane going on in Florida, as you know. And so what they do is they say, oh, please come up now at the end of my speech. I said, don't do that. Because it looks like they're leaving, like your husband who owns this place.
That incomprehensible word salad was Donald Trump trying to explain away the fact that people were leaving his rally today in Michigan. And so to give himself some cover here, he spewed out a bunch of random words that I must have listened to at least 6 times in an effort to find some coherent through line, but couldn't. Ultimately, what I assume he wanted to say was that somehow the people who he was referencing having left his rallies weren't actually leaving. Only small problem, there is video footage of exactly that. Take a look at this clip and pay particularly close attention to the sound of Donald Trump's voice on the loudspeaker while these folks are exiting out of the building. Although I assume that Donald Trump's response to this video evidence would be, quite simply, not to believe our lying eyes. And let's be clear, this isn't even close to the only time this has happened. In fact, it's happening with more and more frequency now. Just a few days ago, this is what happened at his rally in New York.
Think of what our nation would be with no Russia-Ukraine war, no October 7th disaster in Israel and the Middle East. It's inflamed right now. It's inflamed like nobody's seen it for 50 years. No inflation and energy dominance. That's what we have, energy dominance. We have no inflation. We wouldn't have either the Middle East or the Russia, Ukraine. What a different world it would be, wouldn't it be? Oh, we can't let them cheat on elections anymore. We will rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. Right now, we have a capital that when you go down there, you have a damn good chance of being hurt, bugged, something. And we will keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. We're losing that now.
And the amazing thing about this is that while it would normally not be an issue, Trump makes it an issue because he's just that insecure about crowd size. Honestly, no one would usually give a shit if people leave a rally early, but Trump has proven that it's really all he cares about. And so as a result, Kamala Harris was able to harness that insecurity to show just how weak-willed and impulsive Donald Trump is.
And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you.
Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so, that would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border?
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
Think about what you just saw for a second. Trump is so easy to read, so easy to manipulate, that all Kamala Harris had to do was tell this grown-ass man that his rallies were boring, and the guy running to control the nuclear arsenal in this country melted down like an ice cream sundae in the Arizona sun in July. If Trump is that easy to manipulate on a debate stage in front of 75 million people, presumably with plenty of practice leading up to this event, imagine how easy he is to manipulate behind closed doors when he's sitting face to face with the world's autocrats and dictators who are much, much smarter than he is. If you are wondering why it seems like Trump is already a useful idiot for someone like Vladimir Putin, already doing his bidding, now you can understand why. You don't have to be the world's biggest genius to manipulate Donald, you just have to have the strategy of an 8th grader and you can accomplish your goal. And look, while I'd love to spend this entire video exposing just how sensitive Donald is over his precious rallies and how sad he gets when people inevitably leave because there is only so many times human beings can listen to someone lament the death of a make-believe cannibal or whine about the water pressure in his shower, I figure that while I have you and knowing that the economy is one of the top issues of this campaign, let's take a quick moment to compare both of these candidates. Kamala Harris's economic plan will be the best thing to ever happen to the middle class and working class in this country. $25,000 for first-time homebuyers, with 3 million new housing units expected to be built, which will bring the cost of all rent down, legislation to stop predatory investors who buy up rental homes and collude with each other from raising rental prices, a national ban on price gouging for food, and giving the FTC the authority to go after the companies who do it, a $50,000 tax break for new small businesses, and a goal of 25 million new small business applications in the first 2 years of her term, $6,000 in tax credits for newborns, and a restoration of the Democrats' $3,600 tax credit for middle and low-class families, all the while not raising taxes on any household earning $400,000 or less. It would be the best elements of the Biden administration, which has already led to the U.S. to the strongest economy in the world, a record-high stock market, and record job growth, while adding even more policies to help the middle class. Meanwhile, Trump's economic plan? To slap tariffs as high as 200% on every product entering the United States. And guess who pays the increased costs? American consumers. Meaning his economic plan is a promise to pay more for nearly everything you buy. This after years of Republicans wailing about high prices, now they're going to help promote the candidacy of someone who will ensure that all of those prices will skyrocket, all because he doesn't understand how tariffs work. Is that a risk that you're willing to take with your bank account? So look, whether it's an issue of the threat Trump poses to our national security because of how easily he can be manipulated, how bad he'll be on the economy because he doesn't understand how it works, or simply how hostile he is to the very concept of democracy, it is our job to ensure that he never gets near the levers of power in this country again. And finally, just for posterity here, I'll leave you with this image of Kamala Harris's rally because unlike Donald Trump's mini rallies where he drones on about how he's God's gift to the world, this is what excitement actually looks like.
So Arizona, bring that joy with you, bring those smiles, bring that positive future as you join me in welcoming the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey.
Before you go, just a quick note, if you'd like to see more of my content, which is always free of advertising, sponsorships, and paywalls, please make sure to subscribe to this channel using the subscribe button right here on the screen. And if you'd like to support my work even further, you can grab a copy of my instant #1 New York Times selling book, Shameless, available for sale right now. That link is also on the screen. Thanks so much for watching.